Level 1. The Intern. It's June. You're 21 years old, and you're standing in front of a mirror in your apartment, trying to figure out if your tie is straight. It's your first real tie. You bought it at Target 2 days ago because you didn't own one, and nobody told you that you'd need one until the offer letter arrived. The subway ride to Midtown takes 34 minutes, and you spend all 34 of them rehearsing how you're going to introduce yourself. You walk into the Chase building on Park Avenue, and the lobby alone is bigger than your entire college campus. The ceilings are high. The floors are marble. Everyone walks fast and looks like they already know where they're going. You don't. You follow a group of other interns to the 11th floor and sit in a room where someone from HR explains the dress code, the badge policy, and the importance of confidentiality. You nod like you understand all of it. Your first assignment is to format a PowerPoint presentation that someone else built. You spend 4 hours on it. You send it back. Nobody responds. But here's what nobody tells you about being an intern at a place like this. The work almost doesn't matter. What matters is everything that happens around the work. It's the conversation you have while waiting for the elevator. It's the senior analyst who asks where you went to school and actually listens to your answer. It's learning whose coffee order is whose and remembering it without being asked. It's being the person in the room who is genuinely curious instead of just performing curiosity. You make $22 an hour. After taxes and your Metro card and the lunch you feel pressured to buy because everyone else goes out, you're basically breaking even. You call your mom on the walk to the subway, and she asks how it went, and you say good because you don't have the words yet for what you actually experienced. You just know you want to come back tomorrow. And that wanting, that specific and uncomplicated desire to be back in that building, is the only thing that actually matters right now. Every person on the 47th floor started exactly where you are, uncomfortable tie and all. Level 2, the Analyst. You got the full-time offer. The same building, the same marble lobby, the same elevator, but this time you know which floor you're going to without checking your phone. It's September, 2 years after that first day. Now you have a desk. A real one, with your name in the company directory and a badge that actually opens doors instead of just getting you into the lobby. Your base salary is $72,000 a year, which comes out to about $6,000 a month before taxes. It feels like a real salary until you realize your rent in Manhattan is $2,100, your student loan payments total $400, plus your Metro card, groceries, and dry cleaning for the suits you now actually need. You're not broke. But you're not comfortable either. You're somewhere in the middle, which is exactly where the city wants you to be. But none of that matters on Monday morning when you walk in with your coffee and open your laptop, because you belong here now. At least that's what you tell yourself. The analyst years are when you learn the real curriculum, not the one from your finance degree, the actual one. You learn that the person who finishes first is not always the person who does it best, but the person who makes their manager look good in front of their manager. You learn that asking for help too early makes you look lost, and asking too late makes you look stubborn. And the window between those two things is about 45 minutes and takes years to calibrate. You learn that Friday afternoon emails are a trap, and that replying to them sets an expectation you'll regret by the following Friday. And then there's the moment that changes everything. It happens differently for everyone, but it always happens. For you, it's a Tuesday in November. Your VP pulls you into a glass conference room and says, "I'm putting you on the Henderson account. I need someone I can trust on this." You don't know exactly what that means yet. But you feel the shift, the specific weight of being chosen. You work harder than you've ever worked in your life on that account. Not because someone told you to, because for the first time, the work feels like it has your name on it. And you discover something about yourself that no classroom ever surfaced. You don't just want to do good work. You want to be the person people think of when something important needs to get done. That's not ambition. That's identity. And once it kicks in, there's no turning it off. Level 3, the Manager. It's been 5 years since that first subway ride to Midtown. You're 26 now. You got promoted to associate last year, and last month they gave you your first direct report. His name is Tyler. He's 22, just graduated from Ohio State, and he reminds you of yourself in a way that's equal parts flattering and uncomfortable. He asks too many questions in meetings, and not enough of the right ones outside of them. You recognize every single mistake he makes because you made them all 2 years ago. And that's when it hits you. Being a manager is not about knowing more. It's about remembering what it felt like to know less, and having enough patience to sit with someone inside that feeling without making them feel small. Nobody teaches you that in any training program. His salary is $95,000 a year, with a small bonus that depends on his team's performance. This means that, for the first time, his salary is partially tied to someone else's efforts. It's a strange feeling. You worry about Tyler's work in a different way than you worry about your own. It's less personal and, in a way, more stressful at the same time. Your days look different now, too. Less time doing, more time talking, more one-on-ones, more check-ins, more emails that exist purely to keep people aligned on things that feel like they should be obvious. You have a standing meeting every Monday at 9 a.m. that you didn't ask for and can't cancel. You eat lunch at your desk more than you'd like to admit. But there are moments that make all of it worth it. The afternoon Tyler closes his first client call without any help and walks over to your desk with that specific look on his face, the same look you had when your VP trusted you with the Henderson account. You just nod and say, "Good work," because you know he doesn't need a speech right now. He just needed to know you saw it. You're starting to understand that the higher you go, the more your job becomes about other people's growth and less about your own. And surprisingly, that doesn't feel like a loss. It feels like the first thing in this building that actually means something. Level 4, the executive. You're 38 years old, and you just moved into an office with a door. It sounds small, but if you've spent the last 15 years in open floor plans and shared conference rooms and glass walls, where everyone can see exactly what you're doing at all times, a door with your name next to it feels like a completely different category of existence. Your title is Managing Director. Your salary is $210,000 a year plus a performance bonus that last year was bigger than your entire first 3 years of paychecks combined. You fly business class now, not because you requested it, but because someone in travel just books it that way. You have an assistant named Rachel, who knows your coffee order, your wife's birthday, and which calls you actually want to take. But here's what nobody tells you about this level. The work itself gets lonelier. Not in a sad way at first, just in a quiet way. The people around you are more careful with what they say. Conversations that used to be honest become managed. When you walk into a room, something shifts, slightly but noticeably, and you start to realize that you're no longer just a person at the company. You're a signal. People read into your mood, your tone, which meetings you show up to early, and which ones you join at the last second. You say, "Interesting," in a meeting, and someone spends the next 2 days trying to figure out what you meant by it. You coach yourself to be more deliberate, more measured. You stop saying the first thing that comes to mind because you've seen what happens when someone at your level does that. You become, slowly and without fully noticing it, a more constructed version of yourself. Your weekends are still yours, technically, but your phone isn't. There's always something. A message that needs a quick response, a situation that only you can weigh in on, a call on a Sunday afternoon that runs 90 minutes. Your kids are 8 and 11, and they've stopped asking if you're coming to things and started just being surprised when you show up. That one lands differently than you expected it to. And yet you wouldn't trade it, not because of the money or the title or the office with the door, but because for the first time in your career, you are actually shaping something. The decisions you make ripple out in ways you can trace. The people you promote go on to build teams of their own. The strategy you pushed for 2 years ago is now just how things are done. You are leaving a mark, quiet and invisible to most people, but real. And that feeling, that specific and private satisfaction of mattering at scale, is the thing that keeps you at your desk at 7 p.m. on a Thursday when everyone else has already gone home. Level 5, the CEO. You're 52 years old, and your name is in the press release. It goes out on a Tuesday morning. By noon, your phone has 200 unread messages. Former colleagues you haven't spoken to in years, college friends who saw it on LinkedIn. Your mom calls 3 times before you can pick up. When you finally do, she doesn't say congratulations right away. She just says, "I remember that tie from Target," and you have to turn away from your desk for a second because that one caught you off guard. The first week as CEO of one of the largest banks in the world is not what you imagined. There's no ceremony. No moment where someone hands you the keys and explains everything. You walk into the same building you've walked into for decades, ride the same elevator, and sit down at a desk that is now yours, in a way that feels both completely natural and slightly surreal. The view from the top floor is the same city, just quieter up here. More glass, less noise. The job itself is nothing like any other job you've had. Every other role had a manager somewhere above you, someone whose approval you were working toward, someone who could tell you if you were on the right track. Now the feedback loops are longer, slower, and much less direct. The board has opinions. The shareholders have expectations. The media has a narrative about you that was written before you even started. And the 250,000 people who work at this company will never meet you, but will feel every decision you make. That number stays with you. 250,000 people. Families, mortgages, kids in college, health insurance. You are not abstract to them, even if they are, unavoidably, somewhat abstract to you. You think about the intern you used to be more than you expected to. Not with nostalgia, exactly. More like perspective. You think about the subway ride and the tie, and the PowerPoint nobody responded to, and the Tuesday when your VP said, "I need someone I can trust on this." You think about Tyler, and wonder if he remembers that. First client call the way you remember the Henderson account. You think about all the doors and all the floors and all the small moments that didn't feel significant at the time but were, quietly, everything. The job will ask things of you that you can't fully prepare for. It will test your judgment in public, your character under pressure, your ability to make unpopular decisions and stand behind them when the room goes silent. Some days will feel like the most meaningful work of your life. Others will feel like you are managing the distance between what's right and what's possible, and that distance is wider than anyone outside this office understands. But here's the thing about the top that nobody says out loud. It was never really about the destination. Every floor taught you something the floor below couldn't. Every role asked you to become someone slightly different, slightly more, slightly larger than who you were before. The intern learned to observe. The analyst learned to perform. The manager learned to serve. The executive learned to construct. And the CEO learns, finally, that the whole thing was never about arriving anywhere. It was about who you became on the way up. Somewhere in the city right now, a 21-year-old is standing in front of a mirror trying to figure out if their tie is straight. They have no idea what's ahead of them. The uncertainty, the growth, the cost, the reward. They just know they want to be in that building. And that wanting is enough to start. And if you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give it a thumbs up. This simple gesture helps us a lot and motivates us to create more content like this. Leave a comment with a video suggestion you'd like to see here.